I have 3 free transfers and some FPL players I want to get rid of with 2 weeks of planning to do so. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe and let's get right into the video. First, we will get into the Game Week 11 results, which was almost a guaranteed green arrow as soon as Arsenal fumbled their clean sheet because there were so many people investing all their money in triple Arsenal defence, and that's fair enough. I wish I could too, but I couldn't, and it ended up failing for them, so I was set up for success. But unfortunately, because a lot of my attackers blanked or only got small returns, it was only a very small green arrow, but a green arrow is a green arrow nonetheless, and I would say my game week was pretty good overall. Those of you who didn't captain Haaland and captain someone else, you are very lucky this game week because he should have absolutely killed all your ranks. He should have got 13 points, but he only got 4 because he missed the penalty. So, you know, count your blessings, guys. You got very lucky. It's kind of annoying me. No massive returns here on the team. The highest score was 7, but still there were a fair few small returns. Bruno, Voltemada, Mbumo, Munoz, Sanchez, all pulling their weight to get me a green arrow. They all did quite well. I did expect a bit more from Sarr and Mateta, but we can't be too picky at the end of the day because we got quite lucky. Gehi was one of the biggest threats to my rank, and he ended up not being in the matchday squad, which was amazing for me. So I also got quite lucky. I don't really care about Semenyo missing a penalty because he affected my rank less than anyone else on my team because everybody already has Semenyo. It didn't really do much for me. I mean, it would have helped the tiniest bit. What I am quite pleasantly shocked about is Sanchez. 2 clean sheets in a row and he's playing away to Burnley next. Dare I say he may get 3 clean sheets in a row for me. That would be insane because he was a goalkeeper I didn't really want in my team. I just didn't want to waste transfers on a goalkeeper, but it's turning out to be quite good. Away to Tottenham and home to Wolves, he's got 6 points in both those games. And I think against a bad team like Burnley, he could do it again, but I don't want to jinx myself, so I'm not going to say anything else on this. Let's get into the transfer plans. To begin, we look at my favourite thing to look at. We have the fixture difficulty rating. Now, some of the difficulties for certain fixtures have changed, and I base this on underlying data. You know, expected goals and expected goals conceded. Those are the main 2 stats I base it off. And some of you may disagree with this. For example, you may see home to Tottenham, a green fixture here, and disagree with it. But unfortunately, guys, their attacking and defensive data this season has been very similar to that of Fulham, but Tottenham have been quite fortunate with their goals, and they shouldn't have won a lot of the games they have won, and they should have lost some games they've drawn. I mean, how much longer can you keep that up when Richarlison is your starting striker? You know what I mean? A prime example of underlying data being worth more than actual output is this Bournemouth versus Aston Villa game. Aston Villa dominated Bournemouth. They won 4-0. But if you go to look at the stats here, you will find Bournemouth probably deserved to win that game, and they didn't just lose, they didn't draw, they got absolutely battered by Aston Villa. So sometimes you need to look below the surface and see what's actually going on, and as you can see, Bournemouth are actually still a fairly strong defence despite getting fairly unfortunate. So looking towards the top here, you may think you want to target players from Brighton and Liverpool and Bournemouth, and I already have my Bournemouth players. You guys saw my team. I don't need any Bournemouth players. I also don't need any Palace or Man United players, but I'm running low on Liverpool and Brighton players. I've got none of them. So I could look to target players from those teams. The issue is, it's hard. With Liverpool, I thought Gakpo was the man. He was the best one to own, but he didn't start the last game week. He didn't start on game week 11. The previous 4 games he did start, and out of all 11 game weeks this season, he started 9 out of 11, which is still really strong, and he probably will start the next few games. But now I'm thinking, well, is it a risk to own Gakpo? May he only play 30 minutes for me and get 1 point? Or will he start regular games and get me some returns? As for Brighton, they're doing all right at the moment. They're scoring goals, but it's quite concerning because Welbeck, while he has 1.75 expected goals in the last 4 games, which is pretty good, he's only had 3 shots in the box in the last 4 games, which you don't want from your striker. Let's be honest, that is a really worrying stat, and it makes me want to steer clear of him. But I'm still considering both these players. Despite the considerations they have, despite the risks they do have, they're still good picks because their fixtures are so damn good. If I were to pick players from teams that are fairly low down on this list or even in the middle, they would need to have really good underlying data or good runs long term. So we'll get looking into the players that I want to bring into my team right after looking at how my team lines up without any transfers made. Looking towards captaincy, I'm still undecided. I was going to steer clear of Haaland this game week because away to Newcastle was looking really difficult, but Newcastle have been really bad recently, going from being one of the best defences in the league to one of the worst over the last few game weeks, so it makes them a team worth captaining Haaland against. As you can see though, for the lineup in general, I'm very happy with how everyone looks here. The fixtures are really good and it's lining up to be an insane game week. The only bad player I have here is Voltemada. You know, his data isn't good, his actual output isn't good. I brought him in 3 game weeks ago and it's clearly been the wrong decision, so I need a replacement. We're going to talk about these replacements very soon, but let's talk about other players in this team. Triple Crystal Palace playing against the Wolves, double Man United against Everton, double Bournemouth against West Ham, guys. This is looking so tasty. I just can't see myself getting a red arrow this game week. With that being said, normally when I think I have the best game week in the world coming up, I tend to get red arrows. So let's hope that is not the case this game week. Let's look at the transfers I'm considering making for game week 12. Now, my first thing I could do is switch Voltemade to a different forward, okay? I could get either Welbeck or Thiago. Now, looking at expected goals, non-penalty expected goals, in the last 4 games, I think Welbeck slightly edges it over Thiago. He's only a little further ahead, but not much, which, you know, it still means something. You know, they both have good underlying data, except Welbeck's fixture run is a lot better. But like I said, Welbeck has 3 shots in the box in the last 4 games, which is not what you want from your striker. They both take penalties, so there's not much you can differentiate there. The one thing I like about Thiago is that he plays home to Burnley in game week 13, and Burnley are the worst defence in the league by a long shot, and they are so bad at defending strikers. It's almost a guarantee that your striker will score against Burnley. So having Thiago, who already scores a decent amount of goals against other teams, that's looking so strong. It could be, you know, a 2 or 3 goal game for him. We don't know. Obviously, he could blank. You know, there's no guarantee for a goal, but it's looking very likely that game week 13 will be a monster haul for Thiago. Whereas Welbeck, you know, even through these easy games, if he's averaging less than 1 shot in the box per game, is he going to score that much? I don't know. His ceiling might not be that high. So even though Welbeck's fixture run is better, I'm leaning more towards Thiago this game week because long term his fixture run's all right. Once you get past that fixture run in game week 14 where he plays away to Arsenal, every fixture around it is pretty good. It's just very hard to ignore Welbeck despite the worrying stats when in his next 6 games, aside from that game away to Liverpool, his fixtures are ridiculously good. Brighton have the best fixture run in the world, basically. You know, I don't care what league you're in, Brighton's fixture run is better than yours. It is looking so good. So yeah, very hard. I've got a couple of weeks to make this decision. Hopefully one of them gets injured in the international break and my decision making is easier. Obviously, I would never wish someone to get hurt. You guys know that, but yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Now, the next thing I could do, which is very interesting, is downgrade Voltemade to Kruby Jr. just as some bench cover. Yeah, he's going to sit on the bench. Then I upgrade Joshua King to Cody Gakpo. Now, that could be a big brain play. The Liverpool fixture run is also incredibly strong, one of the best in the league behind Brighton. The issue is Arne Slot is kind of unpredictable these days. I mean, he didn't even start Isak in that front 4 and Gakpo didn't even start either. I think it was Wirtz, Ekitike, Salah and Szoboszlai. And you may think, oh, Szoboszlai could be a good option, but the guy sometimes plays right back. That's not really what you want from a player who's not even going to get clean sheet points. The main question this really boils down to is how worried am I about Gakpo's minutes? To be honest, I'm not worried, guys. I'm not worried about his minutes whatsoever. I think they are pretty secure. And even when he does come on as a sub, he could still make a big impact and get a goal involvement. But if you ask me how many games I think he's going to start in the next 6 game weeks, I would argue he's going to start at least 5. I would be confident in that. He rarely gets benched. And his underlying data for Liverpool is better than any other player in that team. Better than Salah, better than Szoboszlai, better than Wirtz. You get the idea. His expected goals and expected assists are very high when he's on the pitch. I'm curious, for you guys watching this video, if you've made it this far, do you think I should go from Voltemade to Kruby Jr. so I can fund Gakpo in midfield and switch to a 3-5-2? Or should I do the simple switch and go from Voltemade to a different striker? I want you guys to let me know down in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. And while you're at it, let me know down below what transfers you guys are considering for game week 12. Anyway, guys, that is it from me. If you did make it this far, you are greatly appreciated. Make sure you like and subscribe. It will go a long way for me. I'd be really thankful. And you guys know the drill. I will see you all in the next video.